Hey guys, welcome to my top Ippons video. Love these videos. Check out all the Ippons from the Antalya Grand Slam 2022. Some interesting calls like this one here. It's actually hansokomake. You cannot do this kata sankaku rollover. So anyway, many interesting Ippons to talk about. Make sure you like and subscribe like always. And if you need a VPN, use the code Judo, NordVPN. It's great. So first up, a huge front uchimata, huge slam. People do this all the time. They throw the hand over the opposite shoulder and just get picked up and slammed. People really need to work on their defense for that one. Maizaradzi from Georgia now, and this kosotogari, just so picture perfect. On the grip and go, and just watch the perfect timing with the foot sweep. So good. This one's a little bit subtle. See how the Kazakh fighter's just kind of moving, kind of circling his opponent onto the technique. Really nicely well done, really subtle. This one reminds me of Iliadis against, was it Nishiyama? Back then you could grab the leg, but now, I mean, he's just so good to place his arm carefully above the belt line. Obviously you can't grab below the belt, but manages to get this beautiful Soresuri Komigoshi. Next one, another Soresuri Komigoshi, but this time two hands on the gi, and such lift, just smashed him into the mat. And as White comes up from his attack, Blue goes in. Perfect opportunity. White was not expecting that at all. A little bit of Ashiwaza now, but just as spectacular as that last throw. So it's all about distraction here. White, he's just focused on the hands, focusing about his grips. And then Lopez from Portugal just puts that foot in there. Next up, guys, two Kosoto Gakes. And a lot of people, especially those from a wrestling background, they'll have the grip and just go for the Kosoto Gake, just kind of see what happens. A lot of times they just use it as a part of their gripping strategy. But this time Molai throws the leg over there and Wrestle just counters it beautifully with an uchimata. So big upset here. Watch Molai, he's just gripping. He's just naturally throwing that leg over. It's what he likes to do. But Wrestle countered it so well. Bit of a classy counter to the front uchimata by Vieru here. Just bear hugs him. Perfectly well done, perfectly read, well timed. Next up, a bit of a strange ochigari. And look at White's hand, just that really, really high lapel grip. Was perfect for the defense, and then when he went for the ochigari, it was basically what sealed the deal. That, and of course, the lovely reap with the inner leg. Next up, a lovely ogoshi. And there's a lot of things going on here. First, he barely gets his hip across, so that's one thing to throw someone with just that little bit of hip in there, but from the tilt of the upper body, and it was just perfectly timed. Kochigari, ochigari combination here. Really fast, straight on his back. I love this combination. Haga Ryunosuke from Japan does this all the time to really, really good effect. And look at this, Osoto, Ippon Seoinage combination. Good drive. Hand underneath, a little shrug to get in there. Maizaradzi now, and look at this. Just the posturing up at that moment put him in the perfect position for an ochigari. And he knew it. He just went for it. As soon as that happened, he was like, I am in the perfect position for an ochigari. And look at this big slamming osotogari. That grip underneath, around the back. That's a tight ochigari. That's hard to get out of. This next one by Gasimov. A big haraigoshi. And I'm so proud of him because he does all these strange techniques and his judo doesn't look that good a lot of the time. But this one, this haraigoshi looks wonderful. And he's ecstatic about it too. Fonseca now against Shirazdashvili. Double red back patches, both world champions, but Fonseca on the day with that odd Osoto Sorisuri Komigoshi combination that he does. Ching from Taipei, and apparently the Taipei team trains a lot in Japan, so I mean it definitely looks like it. With uchimatas like that, that is a slick uchimata. A little bit of a kosoto to set it up, faking, kochi fake, and then just jumps in there. Look at that, lands right on top of him. Don't blink or you'll miss it. Kosoto into an ashibarai. What a slam. Comes from the great grips, but that kosoto That was all to set up that ashibarai, that beautiful, beautiful ippon. Next, a fabulous osoto turned into a haraigoshi. So good. I love this. It's like a two-step. Step your foot down after that first entry with the osoto, and then turn your body, kick up with the leg. This next one is a really strange kataguruma. So usually kataguruma, people are, on their bum or on their legs, but Blue, he manages to stand up and run with it. So how often do you see a running kataguruma? It's quite common to see a running seoinagi or something, but a running kataguruma, look at this. Jumps down there and then just stands up and drives. Not the prettiest ippon, but definitely unique. In this variation of kataguruma here, people using the inside elbow against the thigh, something that's developed recently. This one happens really fast, but White makes a crucial mistake. He puts his back foot behind him, he leaves it there. Obviously we want to go into it for entries, but you can't leave your foot there like that. Next up, a reverse seoinage, and this is not illegal even though they changed the rules. So if Blue's elbow was on the inside it would be illegal, but because it's on the outside it isn't. And here we see that front uchimata failed. So I kind of like this, people defending it well now, the front uchimata. Takabatake, and this is a nice combination. Uchimata into morote seoinage. It's not often you see someone wielding both these tools, uchimata and a seoinage. Nice work by Takabatake. Flicker here, and Flicker's got a beautiful seoinage and an ippon seoinage as you see here. And just watch the hips. Just a bit of pressure, a bit of upwards force before he collapses and goes down, but takes him with him. Now this is how you do a front uchimata or yagura nage. I think it's best done with a bit of rotation. Makes it easier. Hand around the back. Good entry. Picks him up. Deep grip on the sleeve too. This is a sick osotogari. Little shuffle to the left. So he thinks he's going to go behind or use a technique going backwards, but changes it into an osotogari. One hand on two sides. Vante in now and doing his classic kochimaki komi. He just kind of rolls over like, yeah, I've done this 100 times before. Nothing new here. And a big man doing a big sore suri komigoshi. Watch him wrap that arm through the middle, but he's holding onto the gi. That's really hard to defend once he's threaded the needle like that. He's a guruma now, if I'm not mistaken, even though the leg is not near the hiza, the knee, but because of the grips, it's not sasai, it is a hiza guruma. Someone's gonna be yelling at me in the comments. Another front uchimata. Seeing these just so much more often these days. Used to be kind of a technique that the Georgians did a lot, but now everyone's doing them. Kind of a weird tani otoshi here. Usually you would post your knee behind their thigh, but because he's got that hook on the leg, he just uses it to reap him up and over. Was kind of surprised to see Zenk be thrown by this. It's a awkward osotogari. And just look how high his hands are. It looks like he's about to be countered, but somehow stays strong in the position. Very Nomura-esque seoinage here. Low posture, forward pressure, and then just waiting for the return. Jumping under like that. Beautiful seoinage. This next one, do you call it a sasai even though he doesn't use the leg? I mean, the movement is very sasai-ish, but White does really well to use that grip that Blue had around the tricep. Shrazdashvili now, and I have no idea why the lighting is really bright. Maybe because he is a superstar. But look at this, sore suri komigoshi, perfect. And it's good to see him doing well at plus 100. Now this is a sasai suri komigoshi, bit of lift as well. Not quite like Muneta, but a good sasai nonetheless. Here we have another awkward tani otoshi. Could call it a kosoto, but that arm around the back makes me want to call it a tani otoshi. And I love this seoinage here by Frey. Takes multiple stabs at it. 1, 2, and then the change of direction when he goes down to the ground. That makes 3. Good way to do your seoinages. And this uchimata, not quite sure what happened here, but a good uchimata, good entry. Ochi uchimata, stabbing in like that. Shrazdashvili again. Goes with the kochi, and then the sorisuri komiyoshi again. Goes off the opposite side, but that's okay. See the kochi here? Double sleeve kochi, and then forward, backwards reaction. So the kochi set it up, and jumping in there so quickly, using that under 90 speed that he has. A nice kochi gari here, sticking with the foot, and that big hand over the top makes it easier to kind of pressure down on top of him. A nice transition into the newaza now, using the hand on the back of the head to get the rollover. Really nice work. Don't see this too often, but I think it is effective. Kind of comes from wrestling. Fatal mistake by Blue here. Goes in for the osoto, but his right hand's just too high. It goes over the head of his opponent, and his opponent just ducks underneath. Look at that. See that elbow too high? Made it so easy for White to just get under there. And then with that cross grip like that, you're not going to get an osoto. Boom. Uranage. Looks for the sasai. Doesn't get it, but White counters beautifully. Here's a sasai attempt from Blue. Kind of loses his grips as he's doing it, and then just reading the balance. Well done by White. This is how an osoto should be done. Elbows in close to you. Even if you've got a top grip, you want your elbows in. Look at Ono Shohei, he makes sure he's got a very tight lock around the head. But in this case, Ippons Seoinage grip, just driving down into the mat. Angvari here gets thrown by a beautiful Soresuri Komigoshi. And this is Angvari's brother, am I correct? Pretty sure there's two Angvaris out there from Hungary. And Albarak with the big Koshiwaza. He's so good at this. So I think Koshiguruma is the right terminology here, but there's always that pesky Surigoshi, kind of a vague technique that's just lurking around out there. And look at this beautiful Osotogari. And watch how he sets it up with the grips. Creates a bit of space for his body. Look, the push of the hands here, that's the space he made for his body to go in. Beautiful work, I like that a lot. Angvari now, this time with a super lightning fast kataguruma. Look at that, he jumped down there so quickly. That was really fast. Bronze medal match, Ippon Seoinage here. Love a good Ippon in the finals. Two hands on one side of the sleeve. Little shake before he jumps in there. And this is Lombardo making, well, not his debut at 73. Is it? Yes, his debut at 73, and he did really well. And look at this, Sasai Surikomigashi. So it's a Sasai because of that top grip, the lapel grip. It's the lapel side that sweeps the leg, and I'm pretty sure that's the defining factor between Surikomiyashi and Hizaguruma. But Lombardo, unfortunately, loses out in the finals, but I mean, he had a pretty good performance, getting all the way to the finals in his debut at 73. I think it's his debut. Someone's going to correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a beautiful uchimata. Hard to get out of when you've set the position like that. Now take a look at this Seoinage. The feet are just so wrong. It's so wrong. It's just amazing that he was able to finish this technique. What strength. And speaking of strength, Fonseca, a much more picture-perfect Seoinage in my opinion. Dropping down there in that space. I mean, he's a strong guy, but he doesn't put much strength into that technique. Really nice. And look at this. That a drop down Soresuri Komigoshi. I don't think I've seen a faster one. That is lightning fast. Awkward grips here, and then goes over the top, gets the Osoto. White tries to escape, but you're not getting out of that. Not getting out of that at all. Fonseca again. And he's got an awkward Soresuri Komigoshi Osotogari mix-up. But it works well, strong in the position. Blue almost rolled off the other side. Looking for the Uchimata Kochi. And gets countered. Tani Otoshi. Tani Otoshi by Blue. White just losing his grips at the end there. Unfortunate. Now this is a Hizaguruma. And the word Hiza in Japanese means knee. but it's not near his knee at all. But I think just because of the grips, we call it kataguruma. Nice bit of newaza here, and watch how fast she taps. So quick. That armbar was so quick. Just jumps on it. And white, she should have been defending that 3 steps earlier. I've said this before, but it's usually the guy with the undergrip, the underhook, that wins. There's so many situations where people have grips like this, and it doesn't often work out well for the guy who has the top grip. Nice kind of sticky ashiwaza here. I think it has to be an ashibarai, but usually for an ashibarai you're kind of going towards them. But this time it was like a pulling ashibarai. And look at this. This is what Boltabayev is good at. This lovely ochigari here, in tight, in close. And Cass, just 2 steps ahead, gets the grip, a little bit of momentum, starts with the kosoto gake, and then turns it into uranage. Beautiful work. And this is a huge throw, and he almost loses it. Almost loses it, but I wish we had a better camera angle, because this would look amazing from another camera angle. And guys, just a couple more Ippons left. The last one's a bit of newaza. Like, subscribe, I hope you have. I'm pretty sure if you're here at the end of the video, you've liked and subscribed to my videos. Who's gonna watch 15 minutes of Ippons? I mean, I will. Maybe you will as well. Anyway guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.